Imagine waking up in a world where tension fills the air like electricity, where nations whisper threats behind closed doors, where powerful militaries posture and provoke, yet the entire globe moves carefully, because one superpower stands like a mountain. No enemy dares to climb. Imagine the ground trembling as armored divisions roll forward, the ocean splitting as warships carve through the waves, and the sky roaring as fighter jets slice through the clouds with invisible precision. Imagine a force so advanced, so battle-tested, so relentlessly disciplined that even in 2025, with wars evolving, technologies advancing, and global rivalries intensifying, no nation on Earth is willing to take the risk of standing toe-to-toe with it. And this isn't just because of missiles or machines. It's because behind every weapon stands a warrior. Behind every warrior stands a legacy. And behind that legacy stands a nation that refuses to lose. Today, you're about to understand exactly why no country on Earth dares to fight the United States military in 2025, and why American strength is more unstoppable now than ever before. The reason no country dares to challenge the United States Army in 2025 begins with a truth the world has learned through decades of conflict and sacrifice. When America steps onto the battlefield, it doesn't step alone. It carries the weight of history, the power of innovation, and the unbreakable spirit of millions who believe in freedom with every fiber of their being. The U.S. Army is not just a fighting force. It is a living testament to discipline, endurance, and resolve. These are soldiers forged through grueling training, long marches, sleepless nights, and a mindset that refuses to break even when their bodies are pushed beyond their limits. These are men and women who carry not just rifles but the responsibility of defending a nation whose very foundation is the idea that freedom must never fall. When hostile nations look across the ocean and see the U.S. Army, they don't see uniforms. They see warriors who have survived deserts, jungles, mountains, and urban combat zones. Warriors who know the taste of fear but charge forward anyway. Warriors who serve not for glory, but for the sacred duty of protecting the homeland. And the army is only the beginning. Because when you talk about American power, you must look to the oceans. Vast, silent, seemingly calm, but hiding the most dominant naval force the world has ever known. The U.S. Navy in 2025 is not a navy. It is an empire of steel and power, stretching across every major ocean. Aircraft carriers the size of floating cities roam the seas with entire air wings on their decks, each one capable of launching strikes, evacuations, humanitarian aid, or full-scale war at a moment's notice. Destroyers armed with advanced missiles, cruisers bristling with defenses, submarines that glide unseen beneath, the waves like predators waiting for the perfect moment to strike. This is why no nation dares to test American resolve. Because every ocean is watched, every coastline is within reach, and every threat is met with a wall of firepower so overwhelming that even the world's boldest regimes prefer to stay silent. And above those oceans, dominating the skies with unmatched ferocity, flies the United States Air Force. In 2025, the USAF is more than aircraft. It is the sky's final authority. F-22 Raptors that own the heavens with lethal agility. F-35s that strike before radar can even detect them. B-2 and B-21 bombers that can cross continents unseen. Drones that watch every corner of the battlefield. Satellites that guide missiles with pinpoint accuracy. And cyber wings that shield America's digital heartbeat from invisible enemies. When American jets take off, the sky becomes a battlefield where the enemy's chances drop to zero. The Air Force gives the United States something no rival nation possesses: complete freedom to strike anywhere, anytime, without ever being detected. But even the sky is not the limit anymore, because America has expanded its battlefield into space, launching the United States Space Force, a branch responsible for watching over orbital assets, monitoring enemy activity, and ensuring that no foreign power ever gains the high ground advantage over the homeland. While other nations test rockets, satellites, and cyber warfare tools, the United States is already operating on a level where space surveillance, missile tracking, and orbital warfare capabilities create an invisible shield, protecting the nation from threats before they ever reach American soil, and deep in the oceans where light fades and silence dominates. The most fearsome weapon of them all waits quietly, the U.S. nuclear submarine fleet. These underwater giants move like shadows, impossible to track, impossible to outrun, and impossible to defend against. They carry ballistic missiles capable of crossing oceans in minutes. Weapons so powerful that no world leader dares to provoke an American response. The knowledge that at any moment, from any ocean, a US submarine can unleash devastation is enough to keep even the most aggressive nations from making reckless decisions. Yet, despite all this technology, all this weaponry, and all this unstoppable war power, America's greatest strength has never been its machines. It has always been its people. The warrior spirit of the American soldier, sailor, airman, marine, guardian, and coast guardsman is the force that terrifies America's enemies. This spirit is born in boot camps, where recruits are pushed beyond exhaustion, where leaders are forged through adversity, where teamwork becomes survival, and where discipline becomes identity. It is strengthened on deployments where nights are long, the air is tense, and decisions must be made in fractions of a second. It is hardened by sacrifice, the birthdays missed, the families waiting at home, the friends lost in battle. This patriotism cannot be bought, copied, or intimidated. It is a fire that burns inside every American warrior. A fire that says, "We will protect this nation. We will defend our people. We will stand against any threat, anywhere, anytime." That is the reason no nation dares to challenge the United States military. Because America does not fight for conquest. It fights for freedom. Because America does not seek war, it seeks peace secured through unmatched strength. Because America does not rely on intimidation, it relies on being the country the world calls when chaos breaks loose. Every tank rolling across the battlefield, every missile standing ready, every jet screaming across the sky, every submarine drifting beneath the waves carries the legacy of generations who fought, bled, and sacrificed for the promise that America would remain the land of the free and the home of the brave. And in 2025, the message to the world is clear. The US military is not just prepared, it is unstoppable. Its power is unmatched, its technology unrivaled, its discipline unwavering, and its spirit unbreakable. When the American flag rises above the battlefield, enemies retreat, allies breathe easier, and the world remembers why no country on earth dares to fight the United States of America. Because behind every weapon stands a warrior. Behind every warrior stands a nation. And behind that nation stands an unshakable belief that freedom must always win.